we had essentially had almost a zero Fed funds target rate for many years, about 7, 8 years. And then, of course, things were getting a little heated again, so they ramped it up again. And then we hit the pandemic, and then they, you know, again after the pandemic, the Fed, you know, just throws a whole huge amount of money into the economy to help us recover from essentially shutting down the economy. And then, oh, we forgot. We pour that much money in the economy, and what happens? Inflation rate explodes. And so that's what led to that big, steep, upward uh, trend back up in 22. And so, that's kind of got us where we're at now. We've got this inflation that got way out of control. Now we're trying to get it under control. They're making some progress, but they're not quite there yet.
Art, do you recall back in the first part of this chart where it explodes up, or even where it was when it started back in July of 2000? Do you recall what kind of inflation we were dealing with back then in these peaks? Was that one of those driving factors that said, hey, the inflation's high, we have to do something, so we raise it to get it to a peak till it gets there?
Yeah. In 2004, I mean, inflation was getting a little bit elevated, and so again, it's very similar to what we're seeing in 2022. I don't recall that it got as high as it did in 22, 23, but it was certainly higher than it was prior. And so that's, again, that's what the Fed tries to do is as an inflation rate gets out of their target range, they're going to start raising that Fed funds rate to get it back under control. But then, sometimes they overshoot it in either direction. And so that's, of course, what happened in 2020 into 2022. There was so much money poured into the economy to help recover from the economy being shut down from the pandemic.